Hello everybody and welcome to this Achilyse talk about unlocking advanced property analytics and the power of objective architectural quality analysis for the real estate industry. My name is Roman Schneider. I am Chief Commercial Officer at Achilyse. I am happy to talk you through this presentation and let's get started right away. What was the initial situation? And that was also the starting point for Achilyse as a company. We realized that up until now, qualitative assessments of architectural qualities and real estate qualities had to be based solely on gut feeling and individual experience. With that, it was not possible to produce a data set, an outcome that could be used methodologically in everyday processes in the real estate industry. Qualitative data was subjective, was inconsistent, was not comparable, and this is something that Achilyse solved with its solution. The Achilyse innovation itself is based on a artificial intelligence supported recognition and analysis of floor plans. It is the first time in history that we are able to actually produce objective and quantified data in regards to property or real estate quality. At the moment, it's the unique solution that produces data that is also that is also able to capture large portfolios and compare a bigger number of different planning variants against each other. And this newly available data can be directly integrated into your daily processes with an immediate added value. And throughout this talk, I will dive a little bit more into the details, into which processes and what applications are possible with that newly available quality data for architecture and real estate. How does the solution work? If we look at the solution itself, it is really a new innovation that we set up. We are enriching the existing database where usually we include micro and macro location data into our assessments and analysis. And with our new quality data, we are able to enrich this existing database even further. For that matter, we actually are using geodata and combine it with the building data as you see it here on the left-hand side. Simply spoken, we georeference, we locate the building within the digital twin of the surroundings of that building, and out of these two data sources we generate a new model, which is the basis for our algorithm-based analysis of architectural and real estate quality. In a nutshell, you could say we combine geodata with the building data, and that is the basis for our analytics. If we speak about, and when we speak about architecture qualities, we are actually looking at two sides of this point. The first thing that we look at and where we produce data and quality features is the inside and outside correlation of the building and its surrounding. That means we are objectively calculating sunlight values, daylighting values, the views that you have from a building out of an apartment, noise levels, and also distance to points of interest. Here it's worth noting that we are very precise in calculating these values. We don't just deliver average sun hours, for instance. With our model, it is possible to actually calculate the sunlight values per square inch or per square centimeter if you work in the metric system. And that means that taking into account the overall situation of the building, including the neighboring buildings, including the topography of the surroundings, we are able to very precisely calculate the situation that you will find in this specific object. Same thing as per view. We are not just capturing binary statements such as you look onto a lake, you have a direct view onto water or into greenery. We are calculating very precisely how much of your entire view is connected to that specific view category, like your own building, like the neighboring building, whether you look into greenery, whether you have a direct view onto the lake, and also how much of your overall view in percentage is, occupied by that specific category. The second part that we look at, and perhaps even more importantly, is the floor plan quality itself. Here we assess the functionality of the floor plan, how easy is it to furnish, how well connected are the rooms to each other, how efficient is the space used, are you losing space due to the layout of the floor plan, etc., etc. These two sources of quality criteria are then aggregated in today's biggest data set regarding the architectural quality of an object. And we deliver these data either in a data vector, in an Excel file, but also in visualizations and heat maps that you will see later on. And our data can be consumed either via our web application or in a direct connection through the API. So it's also easy to integrate these data directly into other systems, corporate real estate management systems, for instance, or any other third-party system that you might use. It is usually a standardized open API connection. We exchange these data files with standard JSON files, so everybody in the world should be able to use that data in their existing systems as well. If we look at the benefits coming out of adding these newly available quality data, there are, I would like to highlight certain examples here. Obviously, quality data about the real estate is very important if you evaluate an object, and also for the price determination, sales prices, but also rental prices of these objects. If we look at the criteria, we see that right after size, location, price, obviously, the next important criteria often are the sunlight situation, is the quality, the functionality of the layout, or the views, etc. Here we see certain differences between commercial real estate and residential real estate, of course, but in general, our quality data is available for both aspects. So both commercial real estate and residential real estate. However, obviously the criteria have another weight depending whether it's an office or whether it's an apartment, for example. So as a first clear benefit, through our data we are able to make pricing and valuation processes, first of all, more efficient, but also more precise, and we are able to help to differentiate the pricing even further. Another aspect, and I already mentioned it earlier, is that we are able to support the comparison of planning scenarios, and that also includes architectural competitions. So here we are able to capture the performance indicators of these different planning scenarios directly, and through that you are much quicker in assessing the performances of these different planning scenarios. It's also able to include this data in early profitability assessments in the planning phase, but also through our data, your assessments get much more objective if you look at these different planning scenarios. Obviously, by understanding your objects much better and much deeper in terms of their qualities, you are also able to support your sales and marketing processes. You are able to provide much more in-depth information to the market about your objects. For yourself, you understand the strengths and weaknesses of an object much better, and obviously you can also filter out the suitability of certain objects for certain target groups. So also here you gain efficiency, you gain a better understanding, and you increase your ability to inform your clients and your markets with objective data about your objects. Overall, there's a multitude of different analyses that we can deliver. For instance, and just give you one example, in an entire portfolio, we can cluster apartment types by their quality, which again helps you to understand, for instance, which apartment type is most sought for in the market. And if you are building new buildings, that you can also integrate these insights into your planning process, into your pricing process, etc. So how does this look like? And I already mentioned that at the end we enrich the existing database about real estate, microdata about the location of the object, with additional quality data. And what you see here is one example, and the criteria that we look at here is the direct sky view from an apartment. And obviously, and here our intuition is confirmed, we compare an apartment of the same building on the first floor to an apartment within the same building on the fourth floor. And in our heat maps, obviously, the warmer the color is, the more of that specific quality criteria you find in that apartment. So simply speaking, on the right hand side, you find much more red in the analysis or in the heat map. So here we have more direct sky view from these specific measure or simulation points within the apartment. And also, again, in this example, this is used for a price estimation in order to assess the right rental price for these apartments. And you see here that this is the green indicator here, that obviously if you have more direct sky view, which also has an effect on the brightness of the apartment, then this has a higher positive effect on the price of the respective apartment compared to, in this example again, the apartment on the first floor. So this is really just one example to explain how our data is directly used in this case in a price estimation. And obviously there are over 100 different quality criteria that we capture and that we are able to feed into these kind of processes. In this case, this helps to assess the right price at an early stage of the project, but also to differentiate the pricing within an apartment or within a portfolio in a much stronger way. If we look at other possibilities to use our data, then again we come back to the plan scenarios or planning scenario comparisons, where we can filter out which design variant for instance, is the most profitable for investors. So which design scenario, which layout variant performs better from a commercial point of view. But also in the qualitative steering of object, it helps you, for instance, to improve the daylight situation in a new development. It helps you to filter out which of the layout scenarios performs better, for instance, in terms of the functionality of the layout. So which one would be better to furnish, which one provides better accessibility of the rooms in the apartment, which might also be interesting if you look at it from a target group perspective. So elderly persons, for instance, connectivity is perhaps more important than for younger persons, whereas other criteria then have more weight for other target groups as you define them. Also here, we are able to identify within a project or also within a portfolio which units have the best suitability for a certain target group. So how do you come from your object, from your project to the results? This is really an established and very easy process. The only thing basically that we require from our customers are the plans, obviously, because this is the fuel for our machine. So in one way or the other, we need to get your plans. This can be PDF scans of your objects, and we can even work with paper plans. Obviously here then we would have to scan these plans first. We are also able to integrate digital models like DWGs or IFCs in the near future. So this is all that we require from you. Then we use your plans and we convert them into our data structure. In the same step, we georeference these objects in the digital surrounding. So we place your object in its surroundings, so to say. And once out of that we have created our base model, then we extract all these KPIs, these qualitative features out of the floor plans itself. We put that into a data vector, and we can aggregate this data also on different levels, so either per floor or per unit, and we provide you with that data, as I also initially mentioned, either in a data vector, could be a JSON file, could be an Excel file, but also through our web application that you see here on an example on the right hand side. In addition, you also receive digital floor plans in proper PNGs that you can use for marketing, or, and that could be interesting if you still have paper plans, we are also able to convert your paper plans into usable EXF files, and also in the near future directly into IFC files. So basically you will have the possibility to convert your existing paper plans from your existing portfolio or from former projects directly into a basic IFC model. So you can convert your physical world, your physical plan archive into the digital world with Achilyse. So in a nutshell, that's it. I mean, obviously that there's much more to talk about and much more details that I could elaborate on. But at this point now, I thank you for your attention. I'm looking forward to talking to you in person. If you're interested, then obviously please reach out to us. Reach out to the Achilyse team. We are there for you, and we would be very happy to engage with you on a personal level at a later point. Thank you very much. Have a great day and speak later in person. Bye-bye.